Hey dolls and friends, welcome back and thanks so much for spending part of your day with me. If you're new here, my name is Amber Michon and I do weekly farmhouse inspired DIYs using majority of Dollar Tree and other affordable and budget friendly items. But if you're not new, hey doll, hey.
Hey.
So in today's video, I'm sharing with you some Hobby Lobby inspired pieces. I recently went into Hobby Lobby just to check out their Christmas selections. Now I am fairly new to Hobby Lobby. I've been shopping there for probably just a couple of years now and I have been loving their Christmas items. So I decided that I wanted to try my hand at duping or recreating some of their pieces. Now they're not complete dupes, you know, they're similar. That's why I call them inspired pieces, because you too can create these fabulous items that Hobby Lobby has at a fraction of the cost. Yes, they might be a little bit smaller, but who cares? They look just like the real thing. So with that being said, I really hope you all do enjoy this video. And if you do, make sure you give me a big thumbs up, as it definitely helps out my channel and its growth. If you're new, love what you see, but also love all things home decor DIY on a budget, I would also love if you would consider subscribing and hitting the bell right next to it so you're notified every time that I upload. All right, dolls, let's go ahead and jump right in. For this first DIY, I'm making this house trio and I absolutely love how they came out. So I actually got the set of 3 houses from Target's Dollar Spot. They were $5 and it's wood, so it's really good quality. So what I did is I painted 2 of the houses using my ink chalk paint from Waverly, and the shortest widest house is going to be white. Then I took these wood letters that I got from Amazon. I will have them linked in my Amazon store in my description box below. And I painted those white and I did 2 coats. And you guys, putting them on this painter's tape has been a godsend. Whatever subscriber viewer told me that, bless you, ma'am, because I'm so much happier painting my stuff on this tape. So anyways, after everything is dry, then I take 2 different ribbons. One I got from the Dollar Tree and the other one I got from the Dollar General. So they were both just $1 and $2. So what I do first is take a piece of burlap that I have from a spool, cut it down to make it just a little bit skinnier. I didn't want them too thick. And then I remove some of the edges to give myself a frayed edge. And then I'm just going to hot glue them right around in the middle or the center of each of those houses and all the way to the back as well to make sure that I have a completed look. After that, I took this Farmhouse gingham, buffalo check, whatever you want to call it, ribbon from the Dollar Tree. And it was a little bit too thick for me for this house. I should have cut down a thicker piece of burlap. But anyways, to rectify that, I just halved it. So I glued it in half to shorten up my ribbon just to make it a little bit thinner. And it looks completely fine. It doesn't look too bad. Then I just hot glued that right onto the center of the burlap all the way around as well. Next, I took some jute cord that I got from the Dollar Tree in the Crafter Square section, fished through 2 silver bells that I also got from a pack from the Dollar Tree, and fished through the jute cord and then wrapped it around the house about 3 times, I believe, and just hot glued it to the back to adhere it right in place. Actually, I only did 1 bell. I didn't do 2. I did 1. That's a lie. So I just did 1. This is what it's starting to look like. You can totally leave it like this, but to give me more of that Hobby Lobby look and flair, I use those wood letters and just use my super glue gel and put Joy at the bottom. And then for my white house, I pretty much did the same thing, wrapped around some burlap in the middle of it, but I'm actually going to use this white and gray ribbon that I picked up from the Dollar General. I cut that down a little bit because also it was too thick. So I just cut it down to where I could fold it over and it would look thick enough but thin enough, if you get my drift. So I did the same thing as I did with the buffalo check ribbon, and then I just hot glued it right to the center of the burlap. all the way around, cutting off where I didn't need it. And then this is what they look like, but this is the set that I have. The other black house has Noel on it, and I didn't fold that ribbon over, so this is what it looks like if you don't fold it over. But I really love this set, and I think they are so cute. Next up, I'm making this Baby It's Cold Outside sign. I really love this. So from Dollar Tree, I have their bamboo cutting boards. I just found these like a couple of weeks ago, so I was super happy about it. And then I'm going to use some white Waverly chalk paint. And what the first thing I do actually is going to tape off my edges or corners or whatever you want to call it. So for the Hobby Lobby sign, it's like 2 times, 3 times bigger than my sign. So, hey, that's fine. But it also has like this wood border, like frame around it. So to get that faux look, I decided just to tape it off because it's already wood, the bamboo board, and just paint on the inside. And it gave me the look that I wanted. Then I cut out this phrase, Baby It's Cold Outside. I think this is 7 rows that I did, 7 or 8 rows. I transferred that over, adhered it to the front of my sign, and then put this snowflake ornament on the front and the center, just hot glued that on there. And this DIY is complete. If you don't have a Cricut, I know some of you don't, you can always use the rub-on transfers. You can use computer paper, print it out. You can write it on there yourself. There are many other options that you can do to do this if you don't have a Cricut. But I really love how this turned out and think it'll be really cute on a tiered tray. Next, I'm making this really gorgeous beaded joy sign. So I actually got this, it looks like a shadow box sign, but my wood letters actually came in this little tray. So I decided to use this for this DIY because it was pretty perfect. I love the dark color underneath for me to paint it. So the first thing I did is actually hot glued all of these half wood beads on the border of my now sign. Then I'm going to use my Waverly chalk paint in white and paint all around it. So I did about 2 coats. 2 or 3 coats. No, I did 2 coats on this sign because I really got to get into the creases and the crevices and the cracks of the beads. So I went back after the first coat was dry. I went back with a chippy brush that I got from, I think I got this from Dollar Tree or Target. I don't know. It was only $1. And then I took that and went all the way into the middle of the bead so that I can have all white everywhere. After it was all dry, then I took my finger sander and sanded it down on the inside of my sign. I really love doing this because that brown wood grain look shows through and it's so pretty. Then I took my finger sander also to the top and around the beads just to get my nice distressed farmhouse charm look to it. Really love how it's turning out. Once I wiped down my surface and everything, I then cut this out on my Cricut. It was just in design space. I just typed in joy on the images tab and this what came up, and I cut that out, adhered it to the front. Super easy, but it's so pretty. I really love this sign, and it was so easy, and y'all, I had everything on hand, so it basically cost me nothing, but I really love this. Next up, I'm making this wood round. What would a video be without a wood round or a wreath, right? So I got this out of a pack of 12 from Amazon. I painted it white with my white chalk paint, and then I cut out the phrase Farm Fresh Christmas trees cut and carry from my Cricut on black vinyl and adhered that to the middle of the wood round. Then I'm taking this black and white buffalo check scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby and just going to kind of crease it on the top and the bottom of the wood round so that way I can get my line to cut it. Then I just cut that down to size, and then I apply a generous amount of Mod Podge on the top and the bottom of the semicircle to adhere my scrapbook paper down. I used a lot of Mod Podge, but I did not put any on the top of the paper because I felt as though when I smoothed it down, it would dry really well. And I let it dry overnight. And then after I put my paper down before it dried, I just put down my half wood bead rounds onto the top and the bottom line where they meet. It's pretty much what the Hobby Lobby one looks like, but they are white beads. But I really love the contrast of the brown tan wood bead color, if you get my drift. So after everything was dry, I took my finger sander to sand down the paper that was hanging over. I always say, make sure you cut your image on scrapbook paper just a little bit longer so that way you know that it covers your entire surface. After that's done, I turn it to the back and use some jute cord to have my hanger and just adhere it with some craft sticks. And that's it for this one. Really, really love it. So cute. I have been really enjoying doing wood rounds this Christmas season. So this is another favorite of mine. Next up, I'm making this Naughty and Nice scale thing. I really, really like it. So from Dollar Tree, I'm using one of their craft wood board pieces, some wood beads, some 20mm wood beads, and then I have this Lake Fixes Everything like decor sign. I got it from a bargain store here in Georgia, but if you don't have anything like this or you can't find anything, you can use the decor blocks from the Dollar Tree as well. So the first thing I did is I painted that craft wood board black, as well as 6 wood beads. I'm leaving the other 6 wood beads that natural color and that natural state. So then I also cut down my wood decor block. I cut that in 4 pieces. This is what it looks like after I am done, but I am going to hot glue these together. And then after that, I'm going to use this 3D wreath form that I got from Dollar Tree around spring. So I've had it for a while. So this is what I'm going to use in place of that wire jute to make my semicircle for where the beads go on. So I initially cut down the small, as you can see here, right? I am like, okay, which one are you going to use? Are they all the same size, Amber? Like, what are you going to do with this? How is this going to work? And then they're green, so I knew I had to paint them black. So I cut down the smallest circle form and just kind of measured it against the pieces that I'm going to assemble. I wanted to make sure that everything looked decent and good. So I realized that the small circle was a little bit too small, a little bit too narrow. So I went to the larger circle and cut that down at the point where it meets like the little hump part where you put the thing in. Yeah. Anyways, cut it down so you don't have any issues fishing through your beads. And that one worked really fine. It was the best decision for me to make, is to have the larger one. Moving on. So then, like I said, I hot glued the 4 pieces together, just 2 on top, and then I painted them white. I'm using wicker white from Folk Art. I got this paint from Walmart, I believe, and I gave these blocks 2 coats of white paint, and I painted them on all sides. Once that was done, I am then going to take these stickers, these letter stickers, these alphabet stickers from the Dollar Tree. I've had these for a very long time. I haven't seen them lately. So, I mean, you should be able to find them. They're usually in the school section where you can get like school supplies or learning materials. So I just took out the letters to spell nice and naughty, and then I just kind of positioned them on the front of each of those wood blocks and then just smooth them out. Then to give them a better hold, I adhered a generous amount of Mod Podge. This is matte Mod Podge on the top of it so it wouldn't move. Next, I'm taking this black and white gingham ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to just hot glue that onto the middle of the wood blocks. mostly to hide where the crease is, where both of these blocks meet. But also the Hobby Lobby one had a similar ribbon on there. It had polka dots on the front of it, but I'm skipping that step because I think this is just enough of what I need for this project or for this craft. So then after that, it's time for me to assemble everything. So I just put my blocks on top of that large wood plaque and then position my wire form to make sure that my wood blocks were close and far enough away. Then I alternate putting my wood beads in: black, brown, black, brown, black, brown, wood, tan, whatever you want to call it, right? So I just did all that. And then any beads that needed a little bit of spot paint, I just took a chippy brush and put it on there and then dried it really quickly. It was really easy to do, but I wanted to make sure that none of my beads were the incorrect color. So then to put the wire on top of the blocks, I just used a generous amount of wood hot glue and then stuck one of the wood beads right down on top, so that way it would stay in place. And then that way it wouldn't move. You could probably use, and I would probably recommend using, a heavier duty glue, super glue gel, E6000 if you like it. If you want a more long-term permanent hold, but I was fine with this for just the Christmas season. And then I hot glued down my wood block pieces directly onto that black plank and just played around with the beads. And that's it for this one. I really love it. Really, really cute. So adorable. I'm super happy that I recreated this. It's so cute. I really like it. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Alright dolls, that's all I have for you today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give me a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you let me know if you've decided to recreate any of my DIYs. I would love to look at them and share them with our community. Other than that, be blessed, stay safe, and I will see you on the next one. Bye! How funny.
So we go bye bye now. Well, purpose.
Okay. And it's not Ringle Bell, it's Jingle Bell.
Bye bye. See.
Okay. Alright. Is anybody gonna press the button?